everyone, it's Missy, and welcome back to the Bedtime for Dolls crochet series. We completed the nightgown in the first two parts, and now we are going to make the bed socks, or I like to call them slipper socks. I changed now to the light blue yarn, as you can see, and of course this pattern makes just the one, but you repeat it to make two, so you have two socks. And I have already completed one, so this is what they will look like. I could tell you right now that the toe and the top of the sock are going to be worked in rounds, whereas the heel will be worked in rows. But it's very simple. It's really easy to do, so don't get nervous. I'm going to walk you through this step by step, and this really didn't take me that long. I am going to tell you that if you aren't familiar or experienced in crocheting, or you feel that you absolutely need some extra assistance, a stitch marker might be the way to go. These rounds are worked continuously, and I didn't use a stitch marker because I kept my counting, and I can see over here where the stitches I was increasing. But if you're not familiar with how stitches are supposed to look, or if I was starting out, I'd use a stitch marker too. So that's just an optional thing. I didn't include that in the supplies, but we're going to be using the smaller crochet hook, which for me was the G size, or whatever you needed to obtain the gauge. You're also going to need your scissors and the tapestry needle just to weave in the ends. Again, I am using my light blue yarn. This is just baby yarn, but any lightweight or number 3 yarn will do. So let's get started. The first thing that you want to do is to make a slip knot. So you wrap your yarn around in a loop, bring a strand under, like so. And we're going to be starting with the toe, and then we're going to work the heel, and then we're going to work the sock top. So we will first chain 4. And then we're going to be working in rounds, so we're going to slip stitch in the first chain that we made. And this will get us started with a round or a circle. And then we will begin with round 1, and this will be the right side of our project, or the outside of the sock. And what we do is we chain 1. This does not count as a stitch. We're just chaining 1. We're going to complete 10 single crochets in the ring. We are not going to join our rounds. So that's where I said you want to make sure, if you want, you can place a stitch marker so you know what's round 1, what's round 2. So, but we'll just complete 10 single crochets. There we go, I have 10 single crochets, so that finishes round 1. In round number 2, we'll be working 2 single crochets in the back loop only of the next single crochet. So you have to remember that this is our chain 1 stitch, this is our first single crochet. We're working in the back loop only, so I'm just going to put my hook through that one loop, and then I'm going to complete 2 single crochets in that same loop. So that's 1, and that's 2. And then we will be working 1 single crochet in the back loop of the next stitch. In the next stitch, we will be working 2 single crochets in the back loop. And in the next stitch, it will be 1 single crochet in the back loop. So right now you should have completed 6 single crochet stitches for round 2. And now we will complete 2 single crochets in the back loop only of the next 2 stitches. So this one will have 2 single crochets. The next one will have 2 single crochets. So if you want to count your stitches now, we should be up to 10. And then in the rest of it, we will be completing now 2 single crochets in the back loop only of the next stitch. One single crochet in the back loop of the next stitch. 2 single crochets in the next stitch. And 1 single crochet in the last stitch. So we should have a total of 16 single crochet stitches for round 2. And if you have a marker, you can now move your marker up because this is the first single crochet stitch right here of round 2. And like I said, some of you are probably thinking, oh man, this is getting confusing. It's really all about making sure that you keep your count. If you get interrupted in this project, it is really hard to keep your count. So otherwise, we are ready to go on to round 3. And in round 3, rounds 3 through 7 are actually the same. All we're doing is single crocheting in the back loop only of each stitch around. So you'll have 16 single crochet stitches in rounds 3 through 7. You do not join, you just keep working continuously, and you want to keep moving that stitch marker, if you have one, up as you complete each round. So I'm starting round 3. All I'm doing is going into the back loop and making a single crochet. Like I said, going all the way around, 16 each round, rounds 3 through 7. It's all just single crochet in the back loop of each stitch. So I'll come back when I finish round 7 and then we'll be ready to do the heel. Okay, this is what your project should look like after you finish the toe portion. I have made 7 rounds and now I'm ready to move on to the heel. And we're going to be working row 1. Now we're into rows, so we're going to be flipping back and forth, and row 1 is still the right side of the project. And the first thing you want to do is to chain 1, and then the instructions say that we will be single crocheting in the back loop only for the next 10 stitches. So we're just going to complete 10 single crochets. Okay, once you have single crocheted 10 times, we will be going to round 2. So we'll be actually chaining 1 and turning our work. So now we have the wrong side facing us. And for rows 2 and 3, we're just going to single crochet in each stitch, and we aren't doing the back loops only anymore. So you just go into your first single crochet and you just make your stitch as normal, and remember, our chains do not count as a stitch. So make sure you get this first stitch single crocheted, and we'll be single crocheting 10 times, and then we'll turn and then we'll do row 3, and then it'll be another 10 single crochets. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we'll chain 1, we'll turn, and we'll do the same thing for row 3. So I finished row 3. For row 4, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and then the instruction, we're going to be decreasing now to make the curved part of the heel. So you want to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then you want to single crochet 2 stitches together. So insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull up a loop, so there's 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops, and that's single crochet 2 together. And we're going to do that again. So we pull up a loop, in the next stitch we pull up a loop, so there's 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. So we single crocheted 2 together twice, and then we will single crochet in the last 3 stitches. So now for row 4, you should have a total of 8 stitches. For row 5, make sure our work is turned. We will chain 1, and this time you want to single crochet in each stitch across, so you'll have 8 single crochet stitches again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. For row 6, chain 1, turn. This will be another decreasing row, so we'll single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then we'll single crochet 2 together. And we'll single crochet 2 together again. And single crochet in the last 2 stitches. Okay, so that's the end of row 6. We should have 6 stitches in the row. For row 7, we turn our work and we chain 1. So what we do is we're doing another decreasing row, and we single crochet in the first stitch. And then the pattern says to single crochet 2 together twice. So that's 1, that's 2, and then we single crochet in the last stitch. So we should have 4 stitches for row 7. Turn our work, and this will be the last row of the heel, row number 8. We make sure to chain 1, and then we single crochet 2 together twice, so there will only be 2 stitches in this row. So that's 1. And that's 2, and that completes row 8 and our heel. So now we're going to do the sock top, and this is worked in rounds again. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to turn so that way the right side is facing us, because row number 8 was the wrong side was facing us. And we are first going to chain 1. And then we're going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And then the instructions state to work 7 single crochets evenly across the row ends of the heel side. So if you turn, you can see we started our heel here and we ended up here where we had just made our last, our second single crochet for the first round. So you just want to make sure that you get it in these row ends and just space the single crochets as evenly across as possible. So to do that, I'm just going right into this row end here, picking up a loop and just doing a single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So it's basically just single crochet. What I did is I single crocheted in the sides of rows 1 through 7 of the heel. So I got my 7 single crochets. And now we're back to our toe part that we did. So these should all be single crochet stitches that we're going to be working next. And then once we get to this toe pattern, toe portion, the pattern says that we will be single crocheting in the back loop only of the next 6 single crochets that we left open in the toe. And that's just to make this nice ribbing and to keep that uniform all the way up the sock. So this is the first stitch, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're going to be working along this side, and we're going to be doing 7 single crochets evenly spaced along this heel edge. So I'm just going to insert my hook here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's pretty even across. And we ended on the top here where we had chain 1 and single crocheted. So, and after we do this, we get to the row end of the heel side, you do not want to join. This is where you can place your stitch marker again, and in round 1 we should have 22 single crochet stitches, and you can double check those before you move on, because in rounds 2 through 9 we're going to be single crocheting in the back loops only of each stitch around. So in 2 through 9 we will always have 22 single crochet stitches, and we're just doing the same thing like we did the toe. So you move the stitch marker up as you go because you're not joining. So like this is the first stitch that I said, so you're just single crocheting right into that, and you want to make sure you keep it in the back loop only like that. So yeah, you just keep going around, and then once you get to your stitch marker, move it up, and then you'll have your 9 rounds done. You fasten off, your sock is done, just weave in the ends, and then you'll have your sock. And this is what it looks like on the doll. I think it fits really well, and as you can see when she's wearing her nightgown, the sock top is actually covered. So, but it is a really neat, fun pattern, especially with this ribbing. If you don't know, back loop, front loop, you can just like single crochet it and get like a plain sock, but I do think the ribbing adds a nice look to it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up, and make sure you go back to the first parts to make this nightgown if you haven't already. And stay tuned as the next video I'm going to make, we're going to learn how to do the sash for the nightgown, which is also the same pattern for the headband. So, and you can check out my playlist to get all the videos. I know I put the previous videos are linked down below, as well as a written printable copy of the free pattern from Red Heart Yarn. And as always, if you guys have any questions or any issues, please let me know in the comment section below. And also, if you guys want to suggest another free pattern that you would like to see me do, please leave a comment below. Otherwise, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye!